Pero ngayong araw po ay mayroon tayong guest dito sa studio. Para po mas malinawan, mapag-usapan, lalo na po sa aspeto ng usaping legal. Mayroon po tayong resource person, live po natin makakasama dito sa studio. Si Attorney Edrasel, or mas kilala po siya, Attorney Reyes Del Rosario. Isa pong abogado at isa ring registered nurse at isa pong law professor. Magandang hapon po, Attorney.
Magandang hapon sa iyo, Miss Elaine.
Ito po ang ating camera attorney.
Okay.
Ito pa.
Okay, magandang
Yes.
hapon po sa lahat ng mga nanonood at nakikinig po sa DZRH.
Ako, attorney, marami tayong pag-uusapan dito sa ating pagtutok sa impeachment trial. Ngayon po ay ika-siyam na araw na. Simulan muna natin. Ako, Yuel, unahan ko na ang pagtatanong kay attorney. Alam naman natin yung pag-upo sa witness stand kahapon ni Attorney Melvin Matibag ng NBI Director. Pero ito po, attorney, sa pananaw po ninyo, sa pananaw ng batas, sapat ba? Kasi marami siyang mga ibinulgar kahapon. Mayroon siyang mga bagong statement na hindi, kahit sa media, sa mga press con ay hindi nababanggit ni Director Matibag. Yung bang kanyang naging testimonya kahapon para patunayan yung mga aligasyon ng umano'y plano or banta sa buhay ng Pangulo, sapat ba yun, attorney?
Well, ako, if you're going to ask me talaga, no, I've been vocal about this. Nasabi ko talaga na actually these testimonies are not necessary anymore. They are just there. Actually, yung kay Matibag, yung kay Kalilong, and yung kay attorney yung second witness. Basically, these are all witnesses in order to authenticate the video. Kung totoo ba talaga si video, AI generated ba siya, was it altered? Yun yung basically ang role nila doon. Pero ako, for me, dapat isang NBI agent na lang yung in-invite nila to authenticate. Because at the end of the day, wala naman deny na sinabi ni VP Sara itong mga statements na ito. No? So yun naman yung importante na tignan natin dito. Sinabi ba ni VP Sara ang statements na ito? That's number one. Number two, ito bang statements na ito, does this constitute as an impeachable offense under our Constitution? And if yes, tama ba? May due process ba sa pag-obtain ng mga evidence na ginamit for this article? And then the impeachment court should decide already. Pero going back to your question, I think sufficient naman na ang naging mga testimonya ng mga witnesses over the past few days, including that of Director Matibag, to really say na merong pananagutan si VP Sara. Whether or not it's impeachable, that's for the impeachment court to decide.
Katunayan niyan, attorney, yung kahapon, paulit-ulit na nga yung itinatanong kay Attorney Matibag. Kanina na-interview dito sa DZRH si dating NBI Director Jimmy Santiago, yung unang nag-investigate. Ang sabi nga niya, kung sa kanya daw mangyari, baka mapukpok niya sa ulo yung ng gabel. Pero may bitaw ba? May impact ba yung binitawan ni Attorney Matibag kahapon?
Well, definitely, no? Because again, ang kailangan lang naman i-prove doon ni NBI Director Matibag is that authentic ba yung video na yun? Sa investigasyon ba ng NBI, nalaman ba nila na authentic yung video? That's number one, na-preserve ba nila ng maayos? Finalo ba nila yung due process in authenticating this evidence? Finalo ba nila yung rules of court in authenticating this evidence? Because meron po tayong rules on electronic evidence under our rules of court. So they have to, yun yung dapat i-determine. And lastly, ang naging pinakamalaking testimony kasi dito ng mga NBI agents, and including Director Matibag, is that nagkaroon kasi ng sariling investigasyon ang NBI.
NBI, yes. Oo.
They have to determine now whether or not that particular threat was real. Kasi if it is real, then basically, and they also determined if capable ba si VP Sara Duterte to execute these threats, then basically that's not only a threat to the President but also a threat to the national security of the Philippines, because whatever happens to the President will affect all of us.
So attorney, follow up ko lang kasi doon sa nabanggit mo, it's up to them para kumbaga patunayan na yung investigation ng NBI. Sa tingin mo po ba ay pwede nang ituring na ebidensya yung assessment ng NBI kahit kasi wala pang criminal case na ifa-file. So ano po sa tingin nyo po, pwede na yun, tatayo na kumbaga?
Well, we have to remember na this is not a criminal proceeding. This is the impeachment court. For criminal proceeding kasi, dapat certain yung evidence. No? So, ibig sabihin nito, dapat there should be guilt beyond reasonable doubt. So, ibig sabihin nito, dapat walang pagdududa na ginawa talaga ng taong yun ang krimen. Pero again, this is an impeachment court, and under the impeachment court, hindi strictly followed yung ganong klaseng quantum of evidence na tinatawag namin sa batas. So ang kailangan lang talaga i-prove ng impeachment court is that yung sinabi ba ni VP Sara, is it considered as betrayal of public trust? Is it considered as other high crimes na masasabi natin talaga na because of her statements, hindi na siya fit to hold her office. Yun lang naman yung kailangan talaga i-prove eh. And fortunately or unfortunately, it's up for the senator judges to decide. And alam naman natin na may mga sarili-sariling biases itong mga senator judges na ito, which at the end of the day will definitely affect their decision. No? Although yung constitution natin and the rules on impeachment is very clear that isa lang ang hinihingi po for senator judges is for them to be impartial. Wala nang ibang hinihingi. Hindi sinasabi doon na dapat dapat wala kayong political affiliation or anything. You just have to be impartial. And pag pinakita ng mga senator judges sa atin na partial sila in any way, then of course that removes the credibility of the impeachment court.
Buti nabanggit niyo, attorney, kahapon naging issue po yung yung statement, yung affidavit na ipinresent ni Director Matibag, yung affidavit ni Arturo Las Cañas, naging issue na hindi raw po notarized at walang wet signature. Nabanggit niyo rin na hindi to criminal proceeding. So anong may weight ba yung inilahad na affidavit?
Well, yung affidavit na yun, for me, it was a wrong move on the prosecution to even present that particular affidavit if it wasn't notarized and there's no wet signature. Because at the end of the day, ang tawag dyan ng korte, it's just a mere scrap of paper. Parang you're just, ang isang dokumento na may naglalagay ng mga affidavit tapos wala kang authentication through or wala kang notarization. At the end of the day, it's just parang papel lang, parang print mo lang eh. So there's no probative value of that particular document. And at the same time, again, nawawala tayo sa totoong usapin. Ang tanong lang naman supposedly dito, sinabi ba ni VP Sara yung statement sa yon? If yes, then ito ba ay impeachable of offense? And if yes, then you convict VP Sara. End of story. Ang ginagawa kasi ngayon ng prosecution and the defense particularly is they are attacking the credibility of the witness. Which as a lawyer naman, I totally understand. Kasi at the end of the day, kahit sinong defense lawyer ilagay mo dyan, may hirapan talaga. Because millions of Filipinos were able to watch the video of VP Sara threatening the president. So, sino pa bang magsasabi na hindi totoo yung video na yan? Diba?
So, attorney, susugan ko lang yung binanggit ni Yuel. Kasi aside nga doon sa iba pang mga present yung kay Las Cañas, mayroon pa pong mga pinakitang video katulad na lang nung pagsuntok niya sa sheriff, di ba? Oo. So, itong mga ganitong klase ng video or iba pang mga pinapakitang mga kumbaga parang ebidensya na sumusuporta. Meron kasi silang binabanggit ang prosecution kahapon, attorney, yung pattern of violence na tinatawag. Sa tingin niyo po ba, attorney, ito may legal na bigat ito na ipinakita nila na we want to establish na capable ang vice president dahil may mga ganito siyang prior na ginagawa?
Yeah, definitely. What they are trying to establish is the fact na may capacity ang vice president to execute these violent threats. Diba?
Yes.
Kasi well, although naman, sinasabi ko nga, the threats in itself are sufficient. Pero kasi if sabihin mo na capable ang Vice President to execute those threats, sinabi na rin ito ng Supreme Court dati na parang may malaki ang probative value nun because at the end of the day, if these are mere threats only, then ang mangyayari dito, walang dapat maramdaman na kaba o takot yung nakakatanggap ng threat na yun. Right? But if alam nung taong yon na capable ang nagbigay ng threat to execute all of these threats na kumbaga hindi na lang sasabihin na sige papatayin kita, pero at the end of the day meron siyang history na pumatay talaga siya ng tao, then that will tell you na baka nga dapat matakot ako kasi ganitong klaseng tao yung nag-threaten sa akin.
Attorney, dun sa binigay kahapon na example ni Attorney Matibag, yung ginawa nila ng comparison yung statement ng kapatid niya, si Mayor Baste. Tingin nyo na-establish ng maayos yun?
Well, yung ano naman, yung pagsali kay Baste is to establish na itong Duterte family as a whole, they're somehow violent, di ba? Because alam naman natin yung mga pronouncements ng Duterte family, and they are known for being, being blunt, being straight to the point, and at the end of the day kasi, hindi rin natin may ignore na yung mga statements si Baste Duterte na isang ulo lang yung gusto nila, yung ulo ng presidente. These are actually threatening on the part of the NBI. Kaya nga si NBI conducted its investigation because yun nga, these threats are directed towards the president. Na-raise nga ni Senator Raffy Tulfo na kung ang isang ordinaryong tao nga hinuli kagad because he posted something about former President Rodrigo Duterte, why not for the Vice President? That's why the NBI is there, they investigated already. Actually, sabi nga ni Raffy Tulfo, bakit hindi nyo hinuli kagad si VP Sara if may threat naman pala? Well, at the end of the day, I feel like these are part of the parang perks of holding a high position in government.
Ako, attorney, puntahan ko itong tungkol sa cross-examination ng depensa muna ako, sa depensa. Sa tingin ba ninyo, attorney, kasi alam naman natin, medyo, parang yung iba may notion na, ang bata nung nagtatanong dun sa, nung lawyer sa depensa, attorney Vinluan, di ba? Yung masyadong baget si attorney Vinluan. Pero, hindi po yun sa pagiging batang abogado, dahil ang mga abogado natin, magagaling yan, pumasa po yan ng bar exam, hindi lang po yan overnight. Pero ito, attorney, sa pagtatanong po ng depensa na sa tingin po ba ninyo nagpapahina po ba ito ng kredibilidad ng isang testigo? Medyo generic ang aking katanungan na attorney sa kanya, sa mga testimonya. Kasi parang pag napapansin ko, parang pagka may mga tanong si attorney Vinluan, 'di ba? Parang objection, ganito, ganyan. So sa tingin niyo po ba yung role ng isang depensa ng tinatanong ko, ayun. So, ano po ba yung obserbasyon nyo doon muna sa side ng depensa?
Well, I totally understand the defense lawyers because at the end of the day nga, sabi ko nga kanina, mahihirapan talaga sila because there's no denying that VP Sara said all of these things. So, yung substantial part ng kaso, established na yun wala ka na magagawa. So what they're doing now is they're trying to attack the credibility of the witness to say na, Senator Judges, wag yung pakinggan tong witness na to.
Parang ang hirap kasi, attorney.
Yes.
Oo.
Well, that's part of our job, no? Kaya nga minsan, kunyari, si Attorney Vinluan, kinikriticize siya ng ibang lawyers because naalala nyo, last week, sinabi niya na si VP Sara nga 80% ang grade, tapos mas malaki pa yung grade niya sa most lawyers in this room. So a lot of lawyers are taken aback, pero at the end of the day you have to do everything in order to defend your client. And minsan for an ordinary person na nanonood ngayon, it might seem like baka sabihin nila, ba't ganyan yung mga lawyers, sobrang aggressive, ba't ganyan yung mga lawyers, kailangan talagang awayin nila yung witness. Pero at the end of the day kasi, what they're trying to do is they're trying to destroy the credibility of witness. And one way to do that is to intimidate the witness. And when you intimidate the witness kasi, medyo nawawala siya sa
focus.
And sa flow ng pag-iisip niya, di ba? Kunyari, tatakutin ka na, sigurado ka ba sa sinasabi mo? Actually, bawal yan kasi you're arguing already with the witness. Pero, ginagawa yun ng defense ngayon kasi gusto nilang i-discarril yung and mawala yung credibility ng witnesses by intimidating them para mawala sila doon sa flow of gusto nilang sabihin. Minsan kasi when you get anxious because of intimidation, nawawala ka sa gusto mong sabihin, hindi mo na masasabi. So yun yung ginagawa nila. So ang sinasabi ng maraming lawyers dito, that somehow medyo nagiging borderline unethical na siya because at the end of the day, alam namin yung rules. For example, if you argue with the witness, alam namin na bawal yon. Still you do it in order to intimidate that witness. So medyo may question na. And another yung pinoint out ko nga kanina na lawyers never bring up we never bring up our grades. Diba? Never kong bringing up na mas malaki pa nga yung grade ko kay VP Sara. Pero joke lang.
Alam na namin ngayon, attorney.
Pero at the end of the day, these are not issues supposedly for lawyers. At the end of the day, tama ka, Ed. If you pass the bar already, you have that credibility already na pinagharapan mo tong
Yes.
degree mo. So we don't understand that part. And whatever their strategy is, hindi namin maintindihan yung part na yun kasi it's basically irrelevant to the discussion. So I feel like ang magiging strategy nila i-distract yung tao from the real conversations. Kasi when Attorney Vinluan said that, yun yung naging focus Instead of the substantial aspects na nangyari doon sa impeachment, yun yung naging focus.
Oo.
Kaya nga minsan napag-uusapan namin ng ibang lawyers, parang ang ginagawa ng defense ngayon, they're just parang playing, since this is very public, no? Since they're playing already with the emotions of the public na parang they're trying to produce sound bites already for the vloggers na i-post natin ito kasi oy ang galing ni Vinluan dito, so mawawala na yung or madidistract yung mga tao sa tunay at totoong usapin.
Pero sign ba yun, attorney, na substantive yung evidence? Kasi kung ang inaatake nila yung mismong nagsasalita at hindi yung mismong ebidensya, sign na ba yun na medyo malakas yung ebidensya laban sa kanila?
Correct. Correct. That's a very good observation, Sir Yuel. Because at the end of the day nga, if you can't attack already the substantive part, you attack the technicalities, you attack the credibility of the witness. So basically, doon ka na lang mag-focus. Kasi nga, even the defense, inamin nila na totoo yung video at sinabi ni VP Sara yung mga statements na yun. It's just a matter of proving now na those statements were not actual threats and those statements were actually done, sabi nga nila, di ba, i-play natin yung 2-hour video kasi may context yan. Pero at the end of the day, you just need 2 minutes. You watch that 2 minutes and you ask yourself, kung ako ba makatanggap nitong words na to, will I be threatened? Knowing that this is coming from the Vice President, this is coming from a person with a history of violence, no, public violence. Sinapak niya nga yung sheriff Paano pa ako kung ordinaryong tao ko tapos sinabihan ako ni Vice President na papapatay kita, di ba? So more so for the President of the Philippines, because you also have to remember na sino ba ang magbe-benefit kung mamatay ang presidente?
So parang medyo doon tayo sa rule of succession.
Correct.
Tinatawag.
Kumbaga, Ma'am Elaine, may motibo siya.
May motibo.
Yes.
Ang gusto daw ni attorney ay maraming title. Sa susunod marami RN, tapos yung mga PhD.
PhD.
Di ba maraming pangalan? Minsan ganon, yung ang dami ng parang ang hirap mag-aral, attorney, pero bakit gusto mo mag-aral? Baka ngayon meron ka pa, nag-aaral ka ba ngayon?
Well, ang maganda kasi sa pagiging abogado, you get to learn every day. So, kahit to impeachment, inaaral namin ulit kasi hindi naman tayo palaging ma-impeachment.
Yes, actually, anong taon ba yung huling impeachment
2012,
kay
Corona.
CJ Corona?
CJ Corona.
So 2012.
Actually nga, feeling ko nga mas mahirap yung ginagawa yung trabaho because you need to be abreast with all of the things. At least ako,
Yes.
about sa batas lang, okay na ako. Kayo kasi,
Parang kailangan
Iba't
namin
ibang-
malaman kahit yung past.
kahit yung past.
Oo. Pero ito na, Yuel, ikaw na muna ang mauna ulit. May mga gusto pa po tayong malaman kay attorney.
Unang bagay lang, attorney, nabanggit niyo po kanina na dapat lang mapatunayan dito yung betrayal of public trust. Para sa kaalaman ng ating mga kababayan, ano ba yung betrayal of public trust na dapat mapatunayan sa impeachment na to?
Okay, thank you for the question, Sir Yuel. No? Basically, betrayal of public trust, it's a new addition to the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Nagkaroon na tayo ng 3 constitution. Sa first 2, wala po yung betrayal of public trust. And the reason being is that yung 1987 Constitution was brought about by the revolution, yung EDSA revolution na gawa ng tao. So, minabuti ng constitutional framers na ilagay doon na dapat ang publiko ang may last say. It banks on the idea that public office is public trust. Because if you're going to look at Article 11 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, ang pinakaunang section doon, Section 1, is public office is public trust. Which tells us na pag mawala na yung tiwala ng publiko, dapat hindi ka na humawak ng public office na yon because these people voted for you and these people can also remove you from office. So, kung merong betrayal of public trust, ibig sabihin you're not fit to hold the office. Now, the Supreme Court has mentioned already in jurisprudence na itong betrayal of public trust, this is a catch-all provision na parang it can be anything just as long as ma-prove na dahil sa ginawa mo na wala yung tiwala ng taong bayan sa'yo and you are not entitled anymore to hold that particular office.
Nabanggit ho kahapon dun sa betrayal of public trust yung mataas na trust rating ba? Kung di ako nagkakamali ni VP Sara
VP Sara.
Duterte. At parang yung timing din magkakasunod na lumabas yan from different survey firms. Does that mean na ang mataas na tiwala ng publiko ay nag-i-equal? Sabi nga kahapon, excuse na ba sa trial? Sabi nga ni Director Matibag.
No, because basically at the end of the day, actually counter nga yun sa argument nila because the fact, even yung pag-mention na 32 million voted for VP Sara, because at the end of the day, the fact that many people voted for you and many people trusted you, dapat mas mataas yung accountability mo sa taong bayan. No? So the trust ratings, let's also remember that although these surveys are very credible and these surveys can help us analyze kung ano talaga yung gusto ng taong bayan, but at the end of the day kasi, only a very small fraction of the population is being surveyed. No? For example, 1,000 lang yung respondents. Ilan ba tayong Pilipino? 120 million Filipinos. So out of those, baka na timing na yung in-interview nila, gusto talaga si VP Sara. But at the end of the day kasi, hindi siya basihan, supposedly, because these trust ratings are not, these are not measurement of whether or not VP Sara betrayed the public. Kasi at the end of the day, we're not looking at how the people perceive these acts, but we should look at the acts in itself. Kung ito ba ay paggawa ng pagtraidor sa bayan. Yun dapat yung tingnan Kasi ang mga tao naman, they will always have their biases and perspectives, especially pagdating sa politika. Pero kaya nga we still elect corrupt officials kahit alam na natin, kahit na-convict na ng plunder, kahit na pardon na because of plunder, pero we still elect them because nga kanya-kanya tayong perspektibo, kanya-kanya tayo ng biases. Pero at the end of the day, kaya nga dapat ang tignan natin not the trust ratings, but ang tignan natin kung itong acts ba na ito ay nag-betray doon sa mataas na trust rating na yun.
Kakaugnay niyan, attorney, pinag-uusapan natin paano mo mapapatunayan na betrayed or magkaroon ng betrayal of trust ang Vice President. Ano po ba ang standard proof ng isang impeachment trial? Ito po ba ay, nabanggit nyo kanina, iba ang criminal case, Pero paano po ito tinitimbang? Mas mababa po ba ito kumpara sa isang criminal case?
Well, supposedly impeachment is the highest form of accountability sa bansa natin because these are basically the impeachable officials are the untouchables. You have the president, the vice president, the ombudsman, the constitutional commissioners. You have the justices of the Supreme Court. So basically sa pananaw natin ay hindi natin to pwede galawin. That's why you have the impeachment to tell people that no one is above the law. Kahit anong pang posisyon mo sa government, dapat you will be accountable. Supposedly is the highest form. But unfortunately, ang nakalagay kasi sa constitution natin, that ang magde-decide talaga, the Senate can promulgate its own rules, then the Senate acting as an impeachment court will decide their processes. Hindi po kasi nakalagay sa Senate rules on impeachment kung ano dapat yung quantum of evidence or yung quantum of proof na sinasabi nyo po na kunyari guilt beyond reasonable doubt. Wala po nakalagay. So it now depends on the discretion of the senator judges. Kaya nga sinasabi natin, kahit gaano pa kabigat ang ebidensya kay VP Sara, kung ayaw siyang i-convict ng mga senator judges, wala tayong magagawa. But at the end of the day, ang pinakamagandang nangyari dito is that hindi lang naman 24 yung judges I think the most important judge ay yung taong bayan as a whole. So makikita natin kung anong klaseng public official si VP Sara, anong klase siyang tao, and deserve niya ba maging presidente because she has already presented herself to be a candidate for the 2028 elections. So kahit hindi man siya ma-convict, kahit wala man ang dami ko na sinabi na kahit wala tayong quantum of proof because discretion yan ng senator judges. Kaya nga sinasabi nila na hindi lang daw judicial or quasi-judicial ang impeachment, it's also political.
Yes.
In nature. Kasi kung ano yung leaning mo, syempre iboboto mo yan. And naano na natin yon, Senator Robin Padilla, even before the impeachment started, sinabi niya na I will not convict Sara Duterte, and kahit sunugin niyo ako, mangangamoy Duterte pa rin ako. Yun yung sinabi ni Senator Robin. So that tells us na hindi na nila titignan yung ebidensya. They will just vote based on their politics, So yun nga, sana lang hindi mangyari because dapat nga impartial yung mga senator judges.
Oo. So, mabilis lang, Yuel, bago ko ibigay sa'yo. Kasi pag-usapan po natin yung pagkakaiba, no? Para din sa kapakanan, lalo na para mas maintindihan. Ano ang kaibahan nito, attorney, ng impeachment trial at ng criminal prosecution pagdating po sa tinatawag na rules rules of evidence na tinatawag. Ano po yung kaibahan para mas mag-gets lang din namin?
Okay, sige po. Si criminal proceeding po, ang kanyang procedures ay based solely on the rules of court. No? Ang rules of court po ay ang nagpasa po niyan or ang nag-promulgate po niyan is the Supreme Court. Ang impeachment po, ang rules na fina-follow niya po is the Senate rules on impeachment and the Congress rules, the lower house rules on impeachment. So magkaiba po sila. Kasi nakalagay po sa Constitution natin, the Congress can promulgate its own rules when it comes to impeachment because the sole authority to conduct impeachment proceedings are the Senate, no? The House acting as the prosecutor and the Senate acting as the impeachment court. So yun po yun. Basically, ang nakalagay po sa Senate rules on impeachment is that if hindi nakalagay sa Senate rules on impeachment, ang magsusupplement or supplementary to that is the rules of court. Kaya nga po kung malilito yung mga taong bayan, kung sinasabi mo, attorney, na hindi siya based on rules of court, bakit ang mga senator judges, bakit ang prosecution, bakit ang defense, ang binabasa nilang basis is yung rules of court. Kasi po, nakalagay sa Senate rules on impeachment na kapag hindi ito nakalagay sa rules of court, kasi sa Senate rules on impeachment, hindi po siya ganun ka-specific katulad ng rules of court. So basically, yun yung ginagawa nilang basis kasi nakalagay naman doon that it will be supplementary or ito ang susupply ng mga rules na wala doon sa Senate rules on impeachment. But then again, at the end of the day, it depends on the senator judges kung susundin nila yung rules na yun or hindi.
Nasa kamay nila ang bola.
Panghuli na lang sa akin, attorney, sa usapin na sa grave threats ni VP Sara. Nung panahon ni Estrada impeachment trial na hindi na convict sa impeachment court pero nag-pursue yung kaso. Kung pag-uusapan ho yung mga evidence na nailahad na for the past days with regards dito sa grave threats, tingin nyo po may chance na maipagpatuloy ito sa korte talaga?
Yeah. Well, definitely, I think na meron talaga because yung the elements of grave threats are there. Ang lagi nilang sinasabi ng defense na conditional threat lang naman yan. Pero at the end of the day kasi sinabi na ng Supreme Court, sinabi na to ng Supreme Court that there are two kinds of grave threats and these includes yung conditional threat. So kahit conditional pa siya, kasi basically you're not punishing naman the act of committing the murder or the act of contracting an assassin. You're punishing yung pagbabanta na ginawa ni VP Sara because if you're going to punish yung pag-contract ng assassin, that's already conspiracy to murder. And if you're going to talk about yung parang pagpatay sa presidente, that's already murder. That's not grave threat anymore. So yung pronouncements lang talaga ni VP Sara yung titignan natin. And I think na cover naman ng lahat ng elements under grave threats, no? So yun naman, basically nagbanta siya sa presidente. Ang sinasabi nila, did the president feel fear when nagbanta sa kanya? Well, at the end of the day, alam naman natin yung presidente, he doesn't mingle with the impeachment niya. Ako nga, kung ako yung advisor ni Marcos, I'd tell President Bongbong Marcos na say something about this impeachment because at the end of the day, ikaw yung subject of the threat number one. Number two, this affects national interest already. So dapat may say ka talaga kasi ayaw niya daw maging political pero at the end of the day, impeachment will always be political.
Correct. Bago ko makalimutan, Sister
Go ahead, Yuel.
Isa sa mga bagay na inaatake kay Director Matibag kahapon, yung mga pronouncement niya. Patunay nga doon yung opinion article sa isang pahayagan na nagpapatunay daw na talagang meron na siyang something kay VP Sara. Tingin niyo po may epekto ito?
Well, ang question ko lang naman, does that change the fact na sinabi ni VP Sara itong mga statements na ito? Does that change the fact na authenticated ito ng NBI and finalo nila yung proper procedures? Yun na naman yun totoo yun na pinoint out nila yung pagiging bratinela daw ni VP Sara. Bratinela. So yung pagiging bratinela, sabi nga ni Director Matibag, hindi nanggaling sa akin yung words na yun. Nanggaling yun sa tatay niya. Yun talaga yung tawag sa kanya. Because you have to remember that before Director Matibag became the NBI director during the PBBM PBBM administration, siya po ay close ally ng mga Duterte.
Yes.
So
Oo.
marami po siyang alam patungkol sa dynamics within the inner circle po siya. So marami po siyang alam. Ang ano lang dito, ang nangyari lang dito is that siguro yung affinity ni Director Matibag sa former president is not the same with his affinity to the vice president. So at the end of the day, lumabas talaga yung mga inner hindi ko matatawag na secrets pero yung mga conversations sa supposedly within the inner circle lang lumabas through his opinion columns. No, again, hindi naman si Director Matibag yung under trial dito. Ang under trial dito is si VP Sara Duterte. So question ko ulit, does that change the fact na trinete ni VP Sara ang presidente? Hindi.
So, yun ang punto dito. Pero attorney, nabanggit mo din, and of course, alam din naman nating lahat na naging kahit ng PDP laban, 'di ba, naging part si Attorney
Si
Matibag,
Director Matibag.
which is the parang political party ng mga Duterte. So, attorney, mayroon bang bigat yung pagiging Duterte niya before? I mean, nandun siya sa panig ng mga Duterte before. Ito ba ay ginagawa ding basis usually kapag kaganyan? Kasi marami siyang may personal knowledge siya. Sabihin na natin personal knowledge talaga. Kasi nandun siya kasama siya sa grupo.
That's a good na hindi pa natin na-mention yung personal knowledge.
Yes.
Because if you're the witness, yun talaga yung number one. You can only testify on things that you personally know about. Kasi if kunyari, yung tinatawag natin na hearsay, kapag hearsay siya, hindi ka talaga pwede mag-testify. Well, on the part of the defense, bringing up nila ba't mo tinawag na Bratinela? What's your basis for calling her Bratinela? And does this say that you're biased already? You can't remove that from Director Matibag because at the end of the day, tama ka part siya ng inner circle. So, he knows may basis siya on saying all of these things because he has personal knowledge and direkta niyang nakuha itong mga information na ito from the former president. So, yun po yung, tama po yun. This will have probative value in the sense na personal knowledge po. May personal knowledge siya.
At yan po ay sa pananaw ni attorney.
Ngayong araw, nakatakdang ipasabina yung bank records sa AMLAC. Tingin niyo po ba may sole authority yung Senate? Katulad ng sinabi ni dating Senate President Frank Drilon, na veterano na ng impeachment trial. Talaga bang hindi na kailangan pwede bang gawin ng Senado yon kahit walang pahintulot mula sa Pangulo?
Yeah. So, what we're talking about yung mga BIR records. No? So, nakalagay po sa batas that there are only 3 exceptions under the law na pwedeng ma-compel ang BIR to reveal the tax records of an individual. Ang sinabi naman sa decision ni Presiding Officer Chis Escudero, sinabi niya doon na we will allow the subpoena, but it's now up for the prosecution on how to satisfy any of the 3 requirements under the law para mabuksan natin ang tax records. Kasi tama ka, Sir Yuen. These are 2 things. Subpoena, kukunin mo lang yung BIR box. Correct? Ang pagbulat-lat ng BIR box na yon ay depende na kung ma-fulfill yung nakalagay sa batas. Yun yung sinabi ni Senator Chis Escudero. So, the ball is now on the prosecution's court. So, depende na sa kanila kung paano nila i-execute yon. Pero ang maganda dito, I think it's already a victory for the Filipino people na na-convince ang impeachment court to nakunin ang BIR box ulit. Kasi di ba, ni-return na nila yon.
Yes.
And this is a chance now for the Filipino people to look at these documents which will prove kung nagnakaw ba talaga si VP Sara or hindi. And at the same time, it's also an opportunity for VP Sara to prove herself na hindi talaga siya nagnakaw.
Iduktong ko lang din na Sister Ella, no? Sabi nila wala silang kinatatakutan kahit anong records. Pero may mensahe ba yon? Kasi kahit sabihin nila na hindi sila takot sa kahit anong records, pero still yung manifest nila ay pagtutol na yun yung paninindigan nila, yung ground nila na wag nang buksan yung bank records.
So ang question natin, ba't pa sila nagkaroon ng oral argument kung hindi naman pala sila tututol and they're really willing to show the documents? You have to remember na sinabi ni VP Sara during the prosecution time na hindi kami haharap sa House. Ang haharapin namin is the impeachment court and we're willing to present all the documents that they want. I am willing to testify. Pero ang pinapakita ngayon ng ng defense ay otherwise, because even the first witness himself, no, binabar na nga nila, pinipigilan na nga nila. So ibig sabihin, ayaw nilang matuloy yung investigasyon, ayaw nila na i-present ang mga dokumento that will prove VP Sara, whether VP Sara is guilty or innocent, and ayaw nilang ipakita sa taong bayan ang mga dokumento that will really say that VP Sara betrayed public trust, no. So yun yung ano natin dito, if the defense or if VP Sara ay wala talagang kinakatakutan, wala talagang ginawang masama, wala talagang pagnanakaw na nangyari, bakit silang takot ipakita ang mga dokumento? No, so yun lang naman yung ano natin.
Kasi parang ang dating kasi nung mga nakaraan din ang statement ni Attorney Michael Poa, ang spokesperson ng defense team ni Vice President Sara Duterte, ay parang medyo may pagtutol nga na buksan itong mga records ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero Attorney, alam natin wala tayong idea ano yung laman. Pero on your opinion, mas okay na buksan na lang yung box?
Yeah, because it will tell us a pattern eh. Ang gusto namang i-establish ang prosecution dito is a pattern, no. Titingnan natin magkano ba ang laman ng bank statement si VP Sara, magkano ba ang declared na ano niya, income tax niya, income niya during the period na hindi pa siya public official or during the period when she was the mayor of Davao. And we will compare it now sa progression kung gaano kalaki ang tinaas when she became the vice president already. Because this will tell you na kung unexplained, this will tell you na may unexplained wealth. Kasi kung yung pagtaas ay sobrang exponential, then this will tell you na baka nga questionable itong saan nanggaling tong pondon to, saan nanggaling yung pera na dineclare niya as income, no? Kasi alam naman natin magkano lang ang income ng vice president. Magkano ba ang sweldo ng vice president? 400,000. Tapos kung makikita natin na bakit million-million ito. Because you have to remember also na as the vice president, yun nga yung kino-question eh, because there are also 19 companies to be subpoenaed that are allegedly linked to the vice president. And klaro sa constitution natin, sa batas natin, na bawal po humawak ng ibang other position ang vice president other than the vice presidency, because we want her to focus on her position. Now, if she is a board of director of a certain corporation, paglabag na sa batas yun. If she was named as a consultant for another corporation, bawal na rin yun sa batas. So, ito yung tinitingnan natin. Is there a way to prove VP Sara's wealth, no? Kaya nga kina-question din ng prosecution, bakit sa SALN mo sobrang dami na declared mo, zero yung value ng cash deposits mo and cash on hand mo? Because that's impossible. Kahit kunyari mga blue collared workers, kunyari tricycle driver natin, merong cash on hand yan at the end of the day because nagtrabaho siya eh. Bakit wala kang sweldo? Ikaw, VP Sara, 400,000 yung sweldo mo every month. Bakit wala kang cash on hand? So these declarations, itong mga lumabas na mga dokumento and lalabas pang dokumento, this will help prove whether or not nagnakaw ba talaga si VP Sara sa kaban ng bayan.
Pero Attorney, may naging statement si Senator Amy Marcos patungkol nga dyan. Ang argumento ni Senator Amy Marcos nung nakaraan ay sabi niya ay dapat kung bubuksan man yung mga records ni Vice President Sara Duterte ay yung panahon na siya ay nanungkulan lang as Vice President at hindi yung 20 years back pa.
Yeah.
Yun po ang argumento niya. Ano po ang inyong masasabi tungkol dito?
Well, that defeats the purpose of looking at the pattern. Kasi paano natin malalaman na may unexplained wealth kung titignan na natin nung time na Vice President na siya? Yun nga yung pinuprove natin eh, na bago siya maging Vice President, ganito lang ang value niya o ganito lang yung net worth niya. Tapos nung naging Vice President siya, sobrang lumaki yung net worth. So, if hindi natin makikita yung mga documents prior to her being the Vice President, there is no way for us to establish na nagnakaw talaga siya or meron siyang unexplained wealth. So yun. Actually, ako nga, I don't agree with Senator Robin in a lot of things, pero nung sinabi niya na kung ganun po pala, presiding officer, buksan na lang natin lahat ng bank records ng lahat ng senator. Ako, I agree. Buksan na natin lahat ng public officials. Kasi at the end of the day, dapat po may pananagutan ang mga public officials sa taong bayan. And kasama sa pananagutan na yun, kasama sa accountability measure na yun is to ensure na hindi nyo pinagnakawan yung taong bayan. And how do you prove that? By looking at your bank records, by looking at your tax records, by looking at your SALN.
Sa ibang bagay, attorney, well actually, bago tong sa ibang bagay na to, in conclusion, iduktong ko na dyan sa usapin ng bank records. Hindi ba dapat lubos-lubosin na natin pati yung mga foreign currencies?
Yes, that's a good point, no? Kasi if you remember yung nangyari kay Chief Justice Corona, ang pinaka tumatak sa tao and pinaka natamaan siya is yung foreign bank accounts niya kasi hindi ito nakadeclare sa kanyang SALN. Yun yung the reason why he was convicted and he was removed from office. So ako, I agree, dapat kasama yung foreign bank deposits niya. Pero I think the Supreme Court, the impeachment court rather, is being careful kasi klaro sa batas natin kung kailan lang pwedeng buksan ang foreign bank records ng isang individual, no? And hindi kasama doon yung impeachment, unfortunately. So basically, I think they're trying to be careful, pero they could have done it then they could have included it sa subpoena. Ang sinasabi nga always ni Chis Escudero, ito yung gagawin natin, pero this does not preclude the prosecution or the defense or even an ordinary taxpayer to question it before the Supreme Court. Yun yung ginagawa nilang disclaimer. I don't understand kung ba't hindi nila nagawa yung disclaimer na yon dito sa foreign bank accounts na ito. For example, sinabi ni Chis Escudero, for this impeachment court, we will follow the 16 threshold, pero i-question nyo sa Supreme Court kung hindi kayo agree. Sinabi niya rin na, we will open the BIR box, pero kung hindi kayo agree, i-question nyo rin sa Supreme Court. So, ganun yung ginagawa ni presiding officer. Hindi ko lang maintindihan kung bakit hindi niya sinali itong foreign bank accounts. And tama ka, sir, pwede siya.
Actually, marami pa tayong gustong itanong sa'yo, attorney, pero mukhang kailangan ka naming pakawalan na. Pero bago ka po namin pakawalan ng tuluyan, sana po huwag kayong madadala. Sana ma-invite pa namin kayo dito sa mga susunod. Pero ito ang aking huling katanungan, attorney, on my end. Si Yuel, ikaw baka meron kang katanungan. Sa pagdinig kahapon, attorney, sino sa tingin mo ang panalo? Prosecution o depensa?
Kahapon lang, in all fairness with the defense, I think they had their wins as well, no? Si prosecution, they had their wins in the sense na, again, ako for me, hindi na kailangan yung testimony ni Director Matibag because with the two NBI agents already and the lawyer, they were already able to prove na authentic yung video and hindi siya doctored at yung video na iyon ay containing yung mga statements si VP Sara Duterte. Nagkaroon ng wins ang defense in the sense na they were able to attack yung present na document nila Cañas. And that was a parang a lapse on the part of the prosecution. Sige, ibigay na natin. I'll give the win to the defense yesterday. Yun lang naman yun. Pero I think, since matatapos na yung Article 4, I think with the evidence that we have, with the testimony that we have heard, I think enough na yun to convict VP Sara Duterte.
Alright, nako.
Panghuling bagay na lang, Sister El.
Ikaw na, Yuel.
Kahit sabihin na, alam naman natin lahat na hindi dapat nag-aabogado the term. Pero hindi naman ang taong bayan, nararamdaman naman kapag ang isang senator judge ay nag-aabogado. Sa katunayan, nag-aaway-away nga ngayon. Hindi lang nagpaparinigan sa mismong impeachment court, kundi sa pati online, sa X, sa Facebook, nagpaparinigan. Your thoughts, attorney?
I think the presiding officer should do something about this because nga at the end of the day, ang hinihingi lang naman sa isang senator judge is to be impartial. And we also have to preserve the credibility of the impeachment court kasi kung walang credibility ang impeachment court, kahit anong desisyon na ilalabas sila, hindi maniniwala ang taong bayan. So, dapat gawan na siya ng paraan, whether or not to admonish, katulad ng ginawa nila kay NBI Director Matibag, to admonish these senator judges who are showing partiality, or to admonish them for releasing statements outside of the court because at the end of the day, sila pa rin yung magre-reflect pa rin yun sa kanila as an impeachment court. So, sana gawa ng paraan ni Senator Chis Escudero itong bangayan na nangyayari between senator judges because while we respect kaming lawyers, malaki ang respeto namin for judges, while we respect them for their position as senator judges, hindi po natin may kakaila na karamihan marami po sa kanila or some of them are actually showing and are not afraid to show na they are partial, no? So ito na lang po yung masasabi ko for the Senator Judges. Ipakita niyo po sa taong bayan na hindi po para sa interes ng isang tao ang pinaglalaban ninyo, pero para sa interes ng taong bayan.
At with that, maraming salamat po for being here sa pagsama po sa amin at pagbibigay sa amin kaliwanagan at lecture na rin, attorney. Maraming salamat sa libreng lecture ngayong hapon.
Para tayong mga estudyante
Yes,
na nasa
oo.
classroom.
At marami tayong natutunan ngayong hapon, Yuel. At gayon din sana sa ating mga tagapanood at sa ating mga tagapakinig. Again, nakasama po natin sa studio, Attorney Edrasel Reyes del Rosario, isa pong registered nurse at isang law professor.
Thank you, attorney.
Thank you, attorney.